Hey guys, Toes with Zach Brown is what we'll be going over today. Um, there's been a lot of requests for it. I've been kind of surprised, but I guess I shouldn't be. It's a popular song and it's really fun to play on the banjo. My band used to play this one, and so originally I had learned it on guitar, and then I tried on banjo, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is how I'm playing it from now on, is on the banjo. So there's some dynamics involved. If you're trying to play this on your own, you may want to come up with a different arrangement. This is one that's kind of geared towards having singers, guitar, bass, and drums, and so on, a full band going. Anyway, it's really interesting because it's a three chord song. It's got B, E, and F sharp. That's it. But it's got some interesting twists. As you guys know, I'm sure three chord songs are not always that interesting to play, but there's enough hooks and twists in the arrangement that makes it fun. It's a fun song to play. There's four parts. There's kind of an instrumental, like a signature melody that they have. Then there's the verse, the pre-chorus, and the chorus. And there's different techniques you use in different parts. That also helps to keep it interesting. The basic chords that it's using are B, E, and F sharp. And depending on the part of the song and everything, I might use different voicings. You know, the F sharp, sometimes I'm playing here, sometimes it's way up here. And the same with the B, sometimes this is the B, sometimes that's the B. The E could be that or that. Just kind of depends on the part that we're at and what we're trying to do. Anyway, I'm going to try and move around a little here so you can see my fingers better. The intro has this melody. Well, probably the easiest way to think of this is just as a single line melody. See my fingers. That's the fourth fret there on the B string, and sixth fret on the G, and fourth fret on the G. You can do it other ways. You can do it like that if you want. Whatever works for you. I tend to, on the one beat, hit a dyad. So it's a B chord, so I hit both of those together. But in terms of just trying to learn the melody and how it goes, probably best to just do the single note. Then it does the E. Okay, so that's 5, 7, 5, and then on the G string, the 6th string. Then you go back to the B. And then this is just an arpeggio off the F sharp. Okay, that's 3rd fret right there on the G string, and then 2nd fret on the B, back to the 3rd, and then the 4th fret on the D string, like that. And when he does it, you can hear he's kind of pulling time a little bit, which is like a really common technique that he uses in the song, especially in the chorus. So remember that. We're going to come back, use that term again, pulling time. It's you wait a little extra long before hitting the note, and it kind of pulls, has that pulling effect. You can also do it with rakes. Instead of just hitting on the one, you can do the like that, and by the time you get to the end of the chord, it's that little bit late, not a full 8th note or 16th note, but just a slight bit late to get that effect. And that's what I do on the intro. I don't hit those two together. I hit, so this this one comes a little before this one. Now the second time, when it goes to the E, you see how I'm hitting that last note with my index finger? First time I used my ring finger. And the reason for doing that is because I'm about to go back to this shape, this box position here, and that makes sense. However, the second time we have a little melody, we have to go up the neck. So I slide up to my index finger, and then I'm right where I want to be. Okay, that's the 9th and 6th, 7, 5, 4, 6, 4. Okay, sorry if my fingers keep blocking, but hopefully you can pick that up by ear. Oops, sorry. Okay, that's the intro. Played it, and that goes into like of the pre-chorus, which is sort of like an intro pre-chorus, and it's really just meant for, you know, the guitar and the backup vocals. So you may notice on the recording I don't even play on that intro and on the pre-chorus. I just let the guitar player do his thing, and then I come in with the full band on the verse. And the verse, I'm just playing basic 8th note patterns: B, and then E, so that's B, E, B, F sharp. Now this last one, it changes the timing a little, does a half measure of B, and then the half of F sharp, and then back to the B, and I just let that single note ring until the next verse starts up. Then it goes into the pre-chorus, which uses the same type of chords, but it's got a different turnaround. So just to make it distinguishable a little bit, I hit the whole chord on the one. Now when we get to the F sharp, we're going to suspend it. So that right there, when you look at this chord, okay, that's the F sharp, that's the root, that's the 5th, and that right there is the 3rd. And anytime you remove the 3rd and replace it with the 4, okay, that's a suspended chord. And then it goes to the E, back to the F sharp, and then we get into the triplets. This is a really typical banjo technique, and that's why it always sounds like banjo players are playing so fast, because everyone else is playing 8th notes, and the banjo player just jumps into these triplets, which are 50% faster. So anyway, what you do is, you know, it's a B chord, so we do a little hammer on. Okay, B flat, so this is the 3rd fret on the G string, then you hammer on to the 4th fret. Okay, that makes the B, and then you hit the open B string. Okay, you do the same thing, you know, like with the D. Later on, we're going to do, but I mean, you can do that note off, but you can use any of the notes of the chord. It doesn't have to be the same note, but getting that feel down is important to get the triplet sound. That's what you want to have in there, and that's a transition part that brings us into the chorus. So we do the, and now we're in the chorus. Chorus is a little different, starts on an E chord, but I keep that triplet pattern going. And this time I take the G, which is the flatted third, and I hammer down onto the third to the B. And this one I'm alternating between triplets and eighth notes. And then when I go to the B, same thing. So I don't do the hammer on when I'm doing the eighth note. And then I go up to this B, which, this is B major, but I hammer on. This is similar to the pattern I was using with the E. I take the third, and I do the flat third and hammer on. Like that. Okay? So on the E and on the B, I do those triplet type patterns. Then I do the F sharp, and now we get into the rakes and pulling time. We're kind of emulating the mandolin here. So that would be our F sharp major. Okay, so that's 6, 7, 8. And then I just do a little chromatic run up with my ring finger. Like that. And then again with the rake is important to get that feel. It's just the 11th fret on the G, B, and D strings. Kind of gets that sort of Spanish type of feel that is a big part of this song. And then there's a little break for the vocal, and then you go back to this little riff. And then we do another round on the chorus. And the second time, we go into the intro riff. And that brings us back into the verse. And so you just need to listen to the recording for the whole arrangement, for how the parts go. There's dynamics. The fourth verse goes back to that sound where it's just the guitar and the vocals, and then it kicks up again with the pre-chorus. And then at the end, it does that intro riff, and then it goes back into that little triplet roll, which leads you into one last chorus and stuff like that. But anyway, let me know how it goes. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to put the chord shapes in the comments. And not the exact tab patterns, because you guys can come up with your own or figure out what I'm doing, but I'll put those shapes in the comments, and let me know what you think. Have fun.